My name is Alaric and I'm a software engineer. I live in Seattle, Washington. I'm 46 years old. My life with Ingrid had always seemed like a dream. We met at a coffee shop 10 years ago and it was love at first sight. She was beautiful, intelligent, and had a vibrant personality that drew me in instantly. We married 2 years later, bought a house in a quiet suburb, and settled into a comfortable routine. Or so I thought. About a month ago, I started noticing subtle changes in Ingrid's behavior. She became more distant, less affectionate. Our conversations dwindled, and when we did talk, it felt forced, like she was just going through the motions. She started spending more time on her phone, always turning the screen away when I came near. Late nights at work became more frequent, and she'd often come home exhausted, barely able to muster a hello before collapsing into bed. At first, I dismissed it as stress. Ingrid worked as a marketing manager for a large corporation, and I knew her job could be demanding. But the nagging feeling in the back of my mind wouldn't go away. The distance between us grew wider each day, and I felt like I was losing her. One evening, Ingrid announced that she was going on a girls' trip to Palm Springs with her friends from work. She said they needed a weekend to unwind and relax. I was happy for her, thinking she deserved a break. But something about the way she said it, the slight hesitation in her voice, made me uneasy. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was being paranoid. "Have a great time," I said, forcing a smile. "Be safe and don't forget to call." "I will," she replied, kissing me quickly on the cheek before rushing out the door. As I watched her drive away, the knot in my stomach tightened. The next day, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I tried to focus on my work, but my mind kept wandering back to Ingrid. I replayed our recent interactions in my head, searching for clues, for any explanation for her strange behavior. That evening, I decided to do something I never thought I would do. I snooped through her phone. I know it was a violation of her privacy, a breach of trust, but I couldn't ignore the nagging feeling any longer. I waited until she was asleep, her phone lying on the nightstand. With trembling hands, I picked it up and entered her password, a password I knew by heart after years of typing it in. I went straight to her messages. There were several conversations with her friends about the trip, confirming the details she had told me. But then I saw a name that I didn't recognize. Lysander. My heart pounded in my chest as I opened the conversation. The messages were filled with intimate exchanges, declarations of love, and explicit details about their secret rendezvous. My blood ran cold as I scrolled through the thread, each message a dagger twisting in my heart. They had been planning this trip for weeks, using it as an opportunity to be together without me knowing. The girls' trip was nothing but a carefully constructed lie. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. The world around me started to spin, and I struggled to catch my breath. How could she do this to me? How could she betray our marriage, our love, so callously? The messages went back months, revealing a long-term affair that had been going on right under my nose. I felt like a fool, a naive idiot who had been blinded by love. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I had built my life with, was a stranger to me. I spent the rest of the night in a daze, replaying the messages over and over in my head. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think straight. The pain was unbearable, a deep, agonizing ache that consumed my entire being. By morning, I had made a decision. I couldn't confront her over the phone. I needed to see her face, to hear her explanation, to understand why she had done this to me. I booked a flight to Palm Springs, determined to uncover the truth. The flight felt like an eternity. Every minute that passed was a reminder of Ingrid's betrayal, of the shattered dreams and broken promises. I imagined her with Lysander, laughing, loving, living a life that I was no longer a part of. The anger inside me grew with each passing mile. When I arrived in Palm Springs, I went straight to the hotel Ingrid had mentioned. I walked into the lobby, my heart pounding in my chest, and asked the receptionist for her room number. She gave it to me without hesitation. I took the elevator to the third floor, my hands trembling as I approached her door. I could hear voices inside, muffled but distinct. I took a deep breath and knocked. The door opened, and there she was, standing in a silk robe, her eyes wide with shock. Behind her I saw him, Lysander, a man I vaguely recognized as a colleague from her office. He was shirtless, his face flushed with surprise. Time seemed to stand still as our eyes met. The air crackled with tension, the silence broken only by the sound of my own ragged breathing. Alaric, Ingrid stammered, her voice barely a whisper. What are you doing here? I know everything, I said, my voice cold and steady. I read your messages, I know about Lysander, I know about the affair. Tears welled up in her eyes, but I felt no sympathy. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by a liar and a cheat. It's not what you think, she said, her voice trembling. Oh, really? Then tell me, Ingrid, what is it? I challenged, stepping into the room. Is it a harmless friendship, a business meeting? Or is it exactly what it looks like? You in bed with another man? Lysander stepped forward, his eyes narrowed. This is a private matter, he said. You need to leave, stay out of this, I snapped, my anger boiling over. This is between my wife and me. I turned back to Ingrid, my eyes filled with hurt and rage. How could you do this to me? I asked, my voice cracking. How could you betray our marriage, our love, so easily? She began to cry, her body shaking with sobs. I'm sorry, she said, her voice muffled. I didn't mean for this to happen. It just happened, it just happened, I repeated, my voice rising. Is that all you have to say? It just happened. We made vows, Ingrid. We promised to be faithful, to love and cherish each other. And you threw it all away for this. I gestured towards Lysander, my disgust palpable. For him, he shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. I could see the guilt in his eyes, the shame of being caught in the act. I don't know what to say, Ingrid sobbed. I made a mistake. I regret it. Please, Alaric, give me another chance, I scoffed. You had your chance, Ingrid. You had 10 years to be faithful, to be honest, to be the woman I thought you were. But you chose to betray me, to lie to me, to break my heart. I'm done. I turned to leave, my heart heavy with pain and disappointment. But before I could reach the door, Ingrid grabbed my arm. Please, Alaric, she begged. Don't do this. I love you. I don't want to lose you. I looked at her, her face streaked with tears, her eyes pleading. But I saw no genuine remorse, no real understanding of the pain she had caused. All I saw was a desperate woman trying to salvage a situation she had created. You lost me a long time ago, Ingrid, I said, my voice devoid of emotion. I'm not the man you thought I was. I'm not going to forgive you. I'm not going to forget this. I'm done. I pulled my arm away and walked out of the room, leaving her sobbing in Lysander's arms. As I stepped into the elevator, I felt a strange sense of liberation. The pain was still there, but it was mixed with a newfound strength, a determination to move on and rebuild my life. I spent the next few months navigating the painful process of divorce. Ingrid tried to apologize, to explain her actions, but I refused to listen. The trust was broken beyond repair, and I couldn't bring myself to forgive her. The divorce was finalized, and we divided our assets. I moved out of our house and into a small apartment in the city. It was lonely at times, but I found solace in my work and in the company of my friends. One day, a few months after the divorce, I received a phone call from an unknown number. I hesitated before answering, but curiosity got the better of me. Hello, I said. Alaric, it's Lysander. The voice on the other end said. My blood ran cold. What do you want? I asked, my voice sharp. I wanted to apologize, he said. For everything. I know I hurt you and I'm truly sorry, I scoffed. An apology, that's all you have to say. You destroyed my marriage, my life, and all you can offer is an apology. I know it's not enough, he said. But I wanted you to know that I regret what happened. Ingrid and I were not together anymore. She left me a few weeks after you found us in Palm Springs. She said she couldn't live with the guilt. I was silent for a moment, trying to process what he was saying. So, she left you? I finally said, yes, he replied. She said she realized she had made a mistake, but it was too late. She had lost everything. I felt a strange sense of satisfaction, a small measure of justice for the pain she had caused me. Well, I hope you both are happy with the mess you made, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. We're not, he said. We're both miserable, but I deserved it. I just wanted you to know that. I hung up the phone, feeling a sense of closure I hadn't expected. Ingrid and Lysander were gone from my life, and I was finally free to move on. It's been 2 years since the divorce. I'm still single, but I'm not lonely. I've rediscovered my passion, spent time with friends, and focused on my career. I've learned to trust myself again, to listen to my instincts, and to never ignore the red flags. Ingrid's betrayal was the most painful experience of my life, but it also made me stronger. I've learned that love is not enough. Trust, honesty, and respect are essential for a healthy relationship. And when those things are gone, it's time to walk away. I often wonder what Ingrid is doing now. I've heard through mutual friends that she's still single, working at the same job and living a quiet life. I don't hate her, but I don't forgive her either. She made her choices and she has to live with the consequences. As for me, I'm moving forward one day at a time. I'm open to love again, but I'm also cautious. I know that not everyone is who they seem to be, and that betrayal can come from the most unexpected places. But I refuse to let Ingrid's actions define me. I'm a survivor, a fighter, and I'm determined to create a happy and fulfilling life for myself, no matter what the future holds. That's my story. It's a story of betrayal, heartbreak, and ultimately, resilience. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a new beginning. Summary. Alaric, a software engineer in Seattle, lived a seemingly perfect life with his wife, Ingrid. However, subtle changes in her behavior and increasing distance led him to suspect something was amiss. When Ingrid announced a girl's trip to Palm Springs, Alaric's unease grew, prompting him to snoop through her phone where he discovered a long-term affair with a colleague named Lysander. Devastated, Alaric confronted Ingrid in Palm Springs, finding her in bed with Lysander. Despite her pleas for forgiveness, Alaric ended the marriage, unable to forgive the betrayal. The divorce was painful, but Alaric eventually moved on, focusing on his work and friends. Months later, Lysander called to apologize, revealing that Ingrid had left him and was miserable. Alaric found closure in their shared misery and continued to rebuild his life, learning valuable lessons about trust and honesty. He remains open to love but cautious, determined to create a fulfilling life despite the lasting scars of betrayal. Thank you for listening to my story. Remember, even after the deepest betrayals, you have the strength to rebuild and find happiness again.